Woza. This is SoccerBeat, Talking Sundowns. Hanging out to the legend, Shakes Ngwenya. In a sober moment, he says he was expecting this, that it would work out this way. Join us in the community, subscribe, to our YouTube channel, start this conversation with us. Shakes is saying, it's not a good look. We could have and should have, and we had it in our hands. There were opportunities. But I'm saying to Shakes, in the bigger scheme of things, Mamelodi Sundowns has placed South African football where it's at the moment, where it's supposed to be on a global map, right? We're doing it in the national level, but at club level, I think as the sole African team that was left in the competition, they represented well and gave everybody a feeling of it can happen any moment up to the last second, right? But Shay says from the first half, we could have gotten it done. Shege.
Shout out, my brother.
Yes, good flow.
Yeah, I know. It hurts, my brother. But let me be sober-minded and put it like this. You know what? We have to look at the positives. And there are plenty positives to look at, like you have said, Umjaka. Sundowns showed the world that they are here. Sundowns put South Africa on the map with their performances. People are excited about Sundowns, And again, today, they proved, that they're a quality team. That first half, the way they rotated the ball, they showed a lot of quality, They showed that they are better than Fluminense, I thought they were better than them, But yeah, I was always worried again because we created so many chances in that first half and we failed to put them away. So I was always worried that is this happening again, just like the Dortmund game where we got so many chances in that first half and we couldn't punish them. And it was to be again that one-on-one of Matthews. I can't help but to remember that one-on-one, similar to the one he got, I think, against the Pyramids, In games like this, you need to take those chances. They're not going to come often, as you saw today, But let me just keep it positive, Umjaka, and say, well done to the boys. Well done to Sundowns. I thought they performed well in this Club World Cup. And some players showed, put up their hands to be seen by the big teams in the world, which is important, for the players to advertise themselves. I think players like Ribeiro, they did that. Players like Rayners, they did that. So I'm proud of being a Sundowns today, as much as it's disappointing that we didn't qualify to the next round. But I'm proud to say that I'm a South African and I'm a Sundowns, and I know a lot of people in the world, they know about Sundowns today.
I've said to JJ Okocha, and he said, and I said, you must compare the great South African team 96 if they would have made it to that AFCON, if they had to play at that time against each other, so the Super Eagles against South Africa. And he said they had the edge on South Africa because they knew how it was to lose at the big stage. I think here we are, presented that opportunity here, Mshek. AFCON is coming, and these guys are going to bring this feeling back to the national team, back to the PSL. What is that feeling like now, sitting there and you're like, man, yes, there was a defeat here, but here we are presented with a mountain of information because we've been watching a really spectacular Sundowns. Let's be honest, we've watched the Sundowns that has said we are advertising at the best of our ability. We just obviously couldn't convert the chances.
Yeah, Umjaka, in football, nothing beats experience. And this experience that the boys got from this Club World Cup will come paramount. We've got the AFCON, we've got the World Cup coming, and the boys will learn. They will learn, Also, you look at some players that are in the national team, like Abo Mufokeng, they are playing in the Champions League now. It's just putting our whole football on a different level, and these boys will learn from playing that level. Even the Pirates players will learn from losing against Pyramid, and the Sundowns will learn in stages like this, where they're playing against the world's best teams, how to handle this pressure and how to win games like this, So nothing beats the experience of being here. So I think it's good for the boys. It's gonna go a long way.
Of the African teams that were there, right? Al Ahly, Esperance, Wydad. We're sitting here, and we must be proud and say our record, and our performance at this stage. If they had to say, give us an example of what Africa left on this World Cup stage, on this Club World Cup stage. What did Africa leave here? I think Shushan and Piano will be top of mind. I believe, Sheikh.
Yeah, definitely. Out of all the countries in Africa, out of all the teams from Africa, I think we definitely made the biggest impression, in this Club World Cup. Our style of playing, Jaga, is very unique and beautiful to watch. It's just us having to being more clinical in front of goals and taking our chances. This would have taken us to the next level. Um, as much as I'm proud of the boys for the achievement, for playing the beautiful football they played, but in the back of my mind, I know, Jaga, that we could have went through. We could have went through had we converted a lot of our chances, not just in this game. We should have never lost to Dortmund, a big team like Dortmund. But you've got to be proud of the boys, because those teams that I'm mentioning are teams that play in the Champions League, play in, and it's the first time for Sundowns, being in such a prestigious tournament. So you've got to be proud of the boys and just hope that they learn from this and get better.
We have to also address the elephant in the room, Sheikh. It went wide twice, and both times they got into the box, and there was a moment where you're like, oh, these boys once again. Musa saved one with a sliding tackle, the other hit the post. Sheikh, when it goes wide, Tina, why must it be panic mode?
Yeah, again, Umjaka, all I can say is that we need to learn. We need to learn, all these teams, these world-class teams are dangerous when it comes to crosses, And you got to give credit to us in the middle. We don't get broken easily in the middle. So I guess, obviously, when they come wide, it becomes a problem for us. But at least this time we minimized, we didn't concede. Yes, we had some scary moments there with that one hitting the post of Ronwen Williams, But I think Mudau, I'm proud of Mudau. I think he was solid again in this world stage, and Lunga as well. I think he did well, defensively. Jaga, we just need to take our chances, We take our chances, we through to the next round. We know today, everybody will know today that Sundowns were a better team. But unfortunately, goals win you games.
Shege, Jack Valelis again. The comments also will hit us after this one. Shege, what does Cardoso now in the post-mortem game, Shege? In the post-mortem, what does Cardoso address urgently, Shege? Urgently. Finishing? Is it, dealing with those crosses in defense? Is there anything to talk about in the goalkeeping department? Which one does he address urgently, Shege? Which one needs urgent SOS 10111 attendance?
Mjaka, to be honest with you, he needs to address his own substitutions, because Mjaka, looking at the first half, to be honest with you, we were all over this team in the first half. But then his substitutions weaken the team. They don't make the team stronger. You know, when you make substitutes, you want whoever to come in to add in more value. But as soon as Ribeiro was out, as soon as Themba Zwane was out, I think we lacked creativity. We never looked like we were going to score in that last 15 minutes. Players like Shalulile who came on, yes, we wanted Shalulile. We wanted to see Shalulile. He's done a lot for Sundowns. We know he can score goals. He's a record goal scorer. But he needs the service and he needs the guy to be more creative. So I think our substitute Sales again didn't give much when he came on, and he's always the first player on the coach's mind when he thinks of making a sub. I honestly, I'm sorry, but yeah, I think players like Neo Maema should also be given an opportunity now. Khuliso, we never saw them in this Club World Cup. Let's hope we'll see them, soon, also being given an opportunity. But yeah, I can't complain much. I think the boys showcased their talent in the world stage, and there's a lot of learning curves to be taken out of this Club World Cup.
Hi, Buyakaya, Masandawana will be waiting for you to welcome you back. Proudly. You flew the flag, you showed them Shushan and Piano, you explained. Cardoso was on European platforms explaining what Shushan and Piano is, breaking it down. I'm sure for him also as a Portuguese guy, to experience this, must be unique as well to be experiencing with Sundowns, because it could have been with any club, could have been any club, but it's Sundowns who did it. And I think they really, as colorful as our map is, I think we definitely left our rainbow on the US. Organjan Sheikh.
Yeah, no, we definitely did. Once again, we didn't win the game, but we did win the hearts of the football world. Everybody's going to take note of South Africa now. I think not only for Sundowns, but for South African football as a whole. I think people are going to take note now of South Africa. And, it's exactly what the president of the team always wanted. Even when we were there at Sundowns, he said Sundowns will be recognized amongst the best teams in Africa and the world. And I think we are achieving that. I think you mentioned the word Sundowns to people in the world now. They know who Sundowns is. So, yeah, I think great competition for Sundowns to be in, and I think they did themselves proud.
Mshege, you just got me to think about starting my savings now to travel with Bafana Bafana, because we're clearly going to be back in the North America for the World Cup. So maybe my savings must start. I'm going to join some stockpile to get ready to Sundowns.
You heard from our supporters on the last show, Umjaka, we're going to need to save very much.
Well, let the beat do the talking.